Hi guys, this is Sliver here, and in this video I want to share with you what I believe is the best way to farm mythic unique items as fast as possible. Well, you might be thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Everybody knows that the best way to get mythic uniques is to kill Duriel or Andariel as fast as possible, as many times as possible. And while this is true, it also matters how fast can you farm the summoning materials of Duriel and Andariel. And if you farm it faster or more efficiently, then you will be able to summon more of these bosses, kill more of them in a certain amount of time, and have more chances for mythic unique items. So this guide is basically going to be how can you obtain these summoning materials for Duriel and Andariel as efficiently as possible. So let's go. First of all, you should get a few of these opals that were added in the new season. They come from the dungeons of the Realm Walkers, and their importance is that they give you a random chance of getting a random boss material dropped from any mob. And they trigger quite often, and they can even give you Duriel or Andariel summoning materials directly. Use them. After that, move to the Helltide and start farming the Helltide. I suggest a build that is fast-paced and can farm in large distances very efficiently. Inside the Helltide, you are going to look for the maximum amount of living steel that you can get, and you will be able to get the living steel from the chests inside the Helltide. Primarily, your prime targets are the mystery chests, which contain around 14 living steel in each of them, but you should also open the other chests that are around the Helltide. They're called tortured gifts. So ideally, if you have a good enough character, you should be able to open every single chest, including tortured gifts, including mystery chests, inside the Helltide during the Helltide. A perfect build for this would be the Infinite Evade Spiritborn that I'm rolling right now. In addition to that, while you're doing it, you should visit the Blood Maiden a few times when she is summoned, and then from the Blood Maiden you're going to be able to get a few exquisite bloods, a few malignant hearts, and with the opal that you are using, she has quite a large chance of dropping other boss summoning materials too. Keep in mind that each Helltide has 2 zones, so you will have to open the chests in both of these zones, and you will have 2 of these mystery chests that contain a lot of living steel. When you complete a Whisper, because there are Whisper objectives inside the Helltide, you can go back to the Tree of Whispers and complete the Whisper. You can even open the Whisper cache, and it will contain gold and a few boss summoning materials. So by the time you are finished with the chests inside the Helltide, you should have around 60 to 70 living steel, and in addition to that you should have quite a lot of other summoning materials such as exquisite blood and such as distilled fear. And you might have a lot of time until the next Helltide, so I suggest doing dungeons that have Whisper objectives in them. And the reason for that is you won't only get the Whisper objectives, but also you will get a chance of these bosses, the dungeon bosses, dropping boss materials for you. Now, alternatively, even if you just finished everything inside the Helltide, you can just stay inside the Helltide and farm the Blood Maiden for exquisite blood. Okay, so now you have finished 1 hour of the Helltide, and you should have quite a lot of boss summoning materials. Now you can continue with this until you finish farming, or when you say that you're finished farming, you can go ahead and sell all of these boss materials. Now, I do not recommend using trade chat for selling the boss materials because it would take a long time and you would get ripped off. Rather, I suggest using Diablo.trade. This is the name of the website, Diablo.trade, where first you should look up the price of the item. So here I'm looking up the price of an exquisite blood. And when you decided on what amount of gold you will be asking for your items, then you can list them. And then people will be able to see them, and they can contact you in game, and eventually you can make the transaction. So again, I suggest selling the materials that you farmed on Diablo.trade, and after that you will receive your gold. Now currently living still goes for around 4 or 3 million gold each. So for example, I farmed this route that I just explained for 2 hours, and in that 2 hours I got 150 living steel, which means I got a lot of gold, more than 500 million gold just for the living steel, and I got more than 50 distilled fear, and I got more than 50 exquisite blood, which I sold as well. And after you sold these items, now you can buy Duriel materials. So you have to go on Diablo.trade again, look up the Duriel summoning materials, and then contact the sellers that you want to buy. You should buy the amount that you are comfortable with, but in general, I think it's a good idea to first sell your items and then buy the Duriel summoning materials in that amount that you received for your boss summoning materials. And after that, all you have to do, now you have the Duriel summoning materials, all you have to do is to find a group for a Duriel rotation. You can do that on Discord, for example, the Diablo 4 Discord. And then once you made a group or have a group, then you should do the Duriel rotations. For example, in my case, I sold summoning materials that I farmed in 2 hours for 800 million gold, and then I bought Duriel summoning materials for 600 million gold, and that was enough for 15 rotations, which means 15 times 4, so 60 Duriel kills. And this amount of kills should be enough for you to have a more likely than not kind of chance of getting a Mythic Unique from Duriel. So that's it. Let's recap once again. Get the opal that gives you the random chance of getting boss materials. Then farm the Helltide for boss summoning materials, primarily living steel. Then sell your boss summoning materials that you just found. And then on the gold that you receive, buy Duriel summoning materials. The reason for it being Duriel is that Duriel and Ondaria have the highest chance of dropping Mythic Uniques. And then get a party and do Duriel rotations. And that's it. This is what I believe currently the best way to get a Mythic Unique. It is much better than any other gold farm in the game. And let me know in the comments how it went for you. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Otherwise, see you next time. Thanks.